Ми військовослужбовці підрозділу Прайм 5-го прикордонного загону. Зараз знаходимося на Сумщині та стримуємо наступ ворога. Потребуємо мікроавтобус для виконання бойових задач і очищення українського неба від ворожих крил. Звертаємось до команди Car for Ukraine та Бандера Мобіль з проханням допомогти з закупівлею, підготовкою доставкою авто, а також до Renegade Changus та Канті Людан і їх спільноти з проханням допомогти підтримати збір. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Чайка співить, літаючи, мов за дітьми плаче, сонце гріє, вітер віє, на степу козачим, на тім степу скрізь могили стоять та сумують, вітаються у буйного, де наші панують.
Hello, good evening, everybody. It would help if I turned the mic on before I started talking. Just a quick update for those that might have missed it. Renegade Chungus is under a fire threat. Thankfully, the forward progress of the fire is stopped going into his neighborhood. The fire is not stopped, but at least his neighborhood is safe. This is the lake fire. Started this afternoon near Clear Lake. He has been checking in on Discord. If you guys are not a member on Discord, and you want to keep up to date and see how things are going, definitely join Chungus's Discord. I don't have an invite link, but I'll try to hunt one down really quick. Moving on from there, we go to the Summer Sunshine Fun Time fundraiser with Chungus and myself. And we got up to 90 donations. More importantly, in those 90 donations, we've got up to €4,477.74. Yes, you all know what that means. Coming down to the bottom of the page to the donor wall, we see Emu Squad was here donating €104.66, and the big Anonymous donation of €1,078.26. Thank you, Anonymous. This spoonful later in the stream is all you. We'll get to that after I'm not talking so much. Oh, come on, chair. There we go. I have the elliptical under my desk, and the wheels on the chair kind of don't line up all the time. Trying to scoot in and banging the wheels into the elliptical I have under my desk. Yes, self-torture night for Canty. Hello, everybody. Make sure I say hi. Go to live chat, and I think that's long enough for the anonymous donation for the 1,078 euros. See here, Adam Rounds, M35, Mitch, Indie Darkstar, Nura, Pigeon, Stephen Walsh. See, did I miss anybody? David N. Welcome everybody to the stream. Welcome to chat. Let's see, everybody just saying hi. Nura's doing her hair. You know, you should get one of those. Well, I can't speak from experience, but you should get one of those the combs that do the anti-tangle. They have like a special positioning of the brush thingies. I forgot what you call them. Anyways, the brush heads is in a specific pattern to help get through tangles easier. It does work, even though, yeah. Dobrovecha. Adam asks, how are you feeling today, Canty? Tynes, bristles, yeah, okay. I am feeling much better. The cold was still hanging on earlier this morning. Did not sleep very well last night because of thunderstorms and really loud thunder really close. So I was kind of fumbling around trying to organize my room and get stuff ready for my trip, and laid down about noon and took a nap till 6. After that, I feel much, much better. Oh, those do not work for you? No, I know there's some out there that say they are for that, but there's one brand that I know works. It worked for my girlfriend. She had probably 4 feet long hair, like would literally complain about sitting down on it if she didn't pay attention. And that only that one brand worked for her. Anyways, getting back to the subject at hand, yes, we have reached almost 4,500 euros. Take a look at our position in the overall campaign. Of course, history of everything in the top spot with 55,000. Ukraine Matters at 46. Emu Squad donating $100 to us at 25. And the Marchi History at 24,000. Lord Hard Thrasher 19,000. Succumimus in 6th place with almost 18,000. ATP Geopolitics with 12,000. And Tanya Fiona just beating us out with 4,578 euros and 48 cents. We are literally like $100 in change behind her with 4,477 and 74 cents. So like 100 euros and 75 cents behind her. And just to prove how amazing you folks are, Chungus is about 1.1 thousand viewers, subscribers. I'm at just under 500. So we're sitting at about, 1.6 thousand, 1,600 viewers. And Tanya Fiona, cool lady from Kyiv, does a lot of walking around Kyiv, showing you what life is like in Ukraine. be cool to meet up with her. She's actually met up with Johnny FD a couple times. Visited one of the restaurants I wanted to go to when I was in Ukraine last time. But anyways, cool person, little mouse voice, and of course has her little Misha, which is mouse in Ukrainian, to match her voice. Anyways, cool person. Check her out. Let me copy this and paste it in chat for you for anybody that wants to go and check her channel out. Subscribe to her. She has 21,000 subscribers. Yeah. So 21,000 subscribers, and you folks with 1/20th of the viewership are able to pretty much match her up. That's, you know, I'm not talking bad. I'm not talking shit. It's just, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the support you folks give. Yeah, I know pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, but I am proud. For such a small community to have such a huge impact. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get this back to Chungus's and myself, and we'll come back and check on that later. For now, hopping over to the air raid map, you see a lot of the air raid has been clearing. Donetsk, Sumy, Chernihiv, eastern part of Kyiv Oblast, and eastern part of Cherkasky under air alert. A lot of the other areas have cleared. And we'll go into the operational information as of 8 a.m. regarding the Russian invasion on August 3rd, 2025. Hold on, Zach. Let me catch up with chat here really quick. Road is closed by fire up to where I like to go. Ooh, that's rough, Mitch. I cannot confirm this. You know, Chungus has not said this for sure, but I have a feeling, even though the forward progress has been halted in his neighborhood, I think he's still under evacuation and probably holed up at a hotel with his kids for right now. You know, thoughts and prayers go out to him, and, you know, CALD Fire, keep up the good work, keep those fires getting squashed, and save as many homes as you can. Oh yeah, the orange sun with the fire smoke, that's always, well, it's a horrific thing that causes it, but it's the sunset it does look very beautiful when those conditions exist, unfortunately. You know, some of the most dangerous things are the most beautiful. Oh, Nura, you're in Yakima? Yeah, I spent some time in Kent. Anton, you're sure you're not in Ukraine? And Steve saying, welcome to the chat. Okay, let's get into the operational information. Sorry, I cannot read chat as much when I'm doing this because, well, can't read 2 things at once. I wish I could. Anyways, we start with, as always, glory to Ukraine. The 1,257th day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. Ukrainian defenders are steadfastly holding back the onslaught of the occupiers, inflicting significant losses on the enemy. In total, 138 combat clashes were recorded over the past day. The number of clashes, as you can tell, has been dropping recently. We were up over 200. Then it dropped down to about 180. We've been averaging about 150 clashes per day over the last month. And, always good to see the number of clashes decreasing down to 138 today. Yesterday, the enemy launched 3 missile strikes and 67 airstrikes. Russia used 7 missiles and dropped 140 guided bombs in those strikes. In addition, it carried out 5,642 artillery strikes, 96 of those from multiple launch rocket systems, and the Russians also used 4,482 kamikaze drones to cause destruction. The aggressor carried out airstrikes in particular on the areas or near the settlements of Belogria, Novoandrivka, Gorokovo, Rychny, Vasilyanka in Zaporizhia, Kherson and Lviv in Kherson region. Very few cities again, for 140 bombs being dropped. Over the past day, aviation, missile troops, and artillery units of the Defense Forces of Ukraine hit 9 areas of concentration of enemy personnel, weapons, and equipment, 2 control points, 1 radar station, and 5 enemy artillery positions. No, you can't, because I look over, Vlad. Moving into the individual directions and the deep state map. Sorry for the big zoom in there. There's part of the story I want to talk about later involves that area. In the North Slobohansk, Sumy area, Ukrainian defenders repelled 20 Russian attacks. Over the past day, the enemy launched 15 airstrikes, dropping 24 more guided bombs, and carried out an additional 279 artillery strikes, including 6 from MLRSs. Again, the Russian side is very worried and putting out very alarming news for their side. Oleksivka, Yablunivka, heavy fighting is taking place, and this is all according to Russian sources, so take this with a grain of salt, but it appears Ukrainian forces are pushing back and trying to get back to the border up here. Moving over to the south, Slobohansk and Kharkiv areas, our troops stopped 10 enemy attacks in the areas of the settlements of Voschansk, Voschansky Krutoy. I keep doing that. I see the Krasny Purushi and I think Kozachi Lopan for some reason. My brain just works that way. Anyways, the other areas are Kemyanka and Krasny Purushi. Heading down to Kupiansk area. No, I don't want to resize. I want to scroll. In the Kupiansk direction, 5 attacks by the invaders took place yesterday. Our defenders repelled the enemy assault actions in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk itself, Stepova Novosilka, you have to zoom in for that one to show up, Nova Kruglivka. I know it's in this area. There we go. Nova Kruglivka, another one we have to zoom in for it to show up properly. And Zarazova. Heading down to Liman direction. The enemy attacked 19 times, trying to wedge into our defenses near the settlement of Karpivka, right here at the tip of Russia's push. Gorokova. Oh, sorry. I saw the H and figured it was this settlement, but no, it's this one down here. Yedorgova. Sierra Bianca, and towards the settlement of Cherneshnia, Seradini, and Shandri Golove. Heading further to the south, skipping Servisk, and heading straight over to Kramatorsk. The occupiers attacked once without success in the Novo Markovo area. Markovo is here. Novo Markova is just to the northeast. In the Torets direction, just to the south of Chasiv Yar. Where was I? There we go. The enemy carried out 11 attacks in the areas of the settlements of Alexandro Shotine. So this one up here, not this one down here. Sorry, I always look at the wrong settlement first when it does the Alexandro Shotini or Kalinova. I don't know why. That's how it works in my head. So Shotini, Alexandro Shotini up here. Yablunivka right there. Sachira Benivka next to Toretsk. Ivano Pila up here. And Stepanivka over here. Making the pushes towards Konstantinivka. It's going to be rough until winter arrives, and hopefully this push by Russia here can be settled. Anyways, heading over to the Pokrovsk direction. Our defenders stopped 37 assault actions of the aggressor in the Pokrovsk area. Do have some interesting footage coming out of Mirnograd for later in the video, in the stream. Anna, good to see you. Oh yes, hello Vlad. Who else did I miss? Oh yeah, it looks like I'm all caught up. Yeah, just imagine if you went home, you wouldn't have any winters to worry about in Ukraine. Anyways, in the Novopavlivka, or excuse me, not Novopavlivka, in the Pokrovsk direction, 37 assault actions near Poltavka, Popiv Yar, Volodymyrivka, Krasny Liman, just south of Rodinsky, Naikinorivka. That is a new one, but up here. Koltine down here. Mirolubivka. over here. Novo Ekonomiczne. Sukiecki. That's a new one as well. Shakova. I'll have to keep an eye out for that one as I look around. I'm not sure where that town is at, but Rodinsky is the next one. I'm wondering if that is this settlement right here with a different name. No, it's this settlement here that barely shows up on the map. So, between Rodinsky and Servove. Yeah, that settlement right here. Sukiecki. Rodinsky. Coming further to the south to Lisivka. Novopavlivka, which is over here. Pokrovsk itself. Zirozova. Oh, wait. Maybe they mean this Novopavlivka. Sorry about that. So, Novopavlivka here. Pokrovsk, Zirozova, Udashny, Zeleny Kut. I forgot where that one's at. I know it. I just don't know where it's at. We'll look for that. And, of course, Novo Ukrainka, Zeleny Kut. Let's see. I believe it's up over this direction, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. But I'm not. Here, down here next to Dashny, between Oleksivka and Dashny, Zeleny Kut. I knew it. It just seemed odd. Sorry about that. But yeah, Zeleny Kut is down here. Moving over to the Novopavlivsky direction, Novopavlivka. The enemy yesterday carried out 12 attacks in the areas of the settlements of Malivka. Oh, this is such a chaotic front. It's hard to keep track of it. Anyway, Malivka, Voskreshenka, coming here to the south, Novopil, Temrivka, Tolstoy up here, Mirny, which is right there, Zeleny Pol back down here, and in the direction of Filia. Filia is up here. Very chaotic front in Novopavlivka. Russians doing everything they can to try and reach the territorial border of Donetsk. They have reached it right here, unfortunately, it looks like. But there's still pockets that they want to capture. Heading down from Novopavlivka to the Orhiv direction, skipping Huliopol. The aggressors attacked once. The occupiers tried to advance in the area of the settlement of Kamiensky. In the Dnieper direction and Kherson area, our defenders successfully stopped one attack in the area of the Antonovsky Bridge, right here. The enemy did not conduct offensive operations in Servisk or Guliopol directions. No signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups in the Volyn or Polizia directions. Goes into the losses. We'll cover that with the graphic. And we end the report with join the defense forces, Razom Peremojemo, and of course, Slava Ukraina. Vlad, no, they can't, because you signed an agreement not once, but twice, saying you will respect the 1991 international borders of Ukraine. Twice. Yeah. You think any peace deal that Putin signs is going to be upheld? I'd like to, but Greg is usually very, very busy in Ukraine. Steve Sane asking if I'll be catching up with Greg Terry in Ukraine. I would like to. If schedules meet up, that'd be great. He's very busy. I get pulled in 20 different directions while I'm in Ukraine. Oh, hey, come over here. Hey, I got 5 students now that I've worked with either in the past or currently. So meeting with students, doing English lessons while I'm there, doing volunteer work while I'm there. Also, I have medical issues I'm trying to take care of while I'm there. Ukraine, because of Chernobyl, Ukraine deals with a lot of thyroid issues, and I'm trying to get some, better help than I can get in the States with my thyroid issues. Oh yeah, I have a feeling if we let this war play out and Russia collapses, because eventually it will collapse, the Ukraine could easily move into like Rostov and Krasnodar. But you see, you'll notice like Republic of Edgia, not wanting to load, but Chechnya over here, Republic of something else here. There's a lot of like little individual republics that have been subjugated by Russia in this area. Ukraine, they could easily move into this area when Russia collapses, but that's like a whole can of worms that I don't think they'd be wise doing. Of course, Belgorod and Kursk used to be part of Ukraine before Russia stole it from them during Soviet times. Yeah. Yeah, the joke is, everybody's saying push Russia back to the 1991 borders. There's some extremists saying push Russia back to the, let's see, I think it was Ukraine 1919 borders. Yeah, Ukraine used to look a lot different. From the Paris Peace Conference in 1919 after World War One. I just wanted that picture. I don't want all this. There we go. open in a new tab. Get rid of that. So this was Ukraine in 1919. Rostov right there. A couple other cities you should know here. Kursk was just on the other side of the border. Of course, Kharkiv there. Kiev. Yeah. So the borders of Ukraine used to be very, very different. And this was 100 years ago, essentially. So, yeah, 1919 borders. Easily doable, but stepping into a whole different can of worms with Rostov and, I cannot remember that name. Yeah. So, just by comparison, so Krasnodar, so I think this was supposed to be Krimsky right here, Krasnodar, then came up to Rostov. So, basically, well over to here, up through Rostov, up to this area here where Luhansk is currently, came basically straight up this road to Novoye Uzman, straight across, and then you could see the common area right here is this area right here. So basically that all used to be part of Ukraine. Here, let me switch these maps around because I can do something here. So in 1919, this sorry, let me zoom this out so I can actually see it. So, okay, there's more. Let me erase and restart. So, Ukraine's border used to be more like this. On the western half, or eastern half, sorry. So Ukraine could easily claim these areas because they have precedent for it if they wanted to. They don't want to. They are happy with their 1919 borders and happy to work with that. Anyways, moving into back to the air alert map. I wish Belarus would become free and democratic like Ukraine is, but a boy can only dream. It's not far off. The people of Belarus have totally different opinions than the leadership of Belarus. The only reason why the leadership is still in is because, well, they have the power and backing of Russia. For now, that is considered enough. You also have to remember that Belarus gave Russians the right to vote in Belarus. No, I used to have internet friends in Saratov. Yeah. Um, yeah, I used to have friends in Ukraine as well as Russia when I was playing Eve Online. Um, it is what it is. NATO should bribe him. Yeah, Lushenko is a whole nother story. Anyways, total combat losses of the Russian Federation as of the 3rd of August, 2025, the 1257th day of the full-scale invasion. Russia lost 920 personnel today, bringing the total to 1,056,130 personnel. 2 additional APVs today, 43 artillery pieces, bringing the total over 31,025. 178 UAVs, 1 cruise missile, and 135 vehicles. Finnish border. Now, this is the border we all know, and this is the border Finland used to have. Again, pre-World War II. So, pre-World War II, after World War II. Well, yeah, Russia is an imperialist state. Obviously. We all were, back in like the olden days. World War One and World War II were supposedly the end of empires, but obviously someone did not take that definition or prompt, I should say. This is 191 donations, so we got a new donation. Let me check on who that was. And was it anonymous? No, it was an Adam Rounds with 10 euros, closing the gap between us and Tanya Fiona. So thank you, Adam Rounds, for your donation. It is much, much appreciated. Heading back to the air alert map and bring up Zelensky's speech. I'm going to let Zelensky's speech play because I need to run to the restroom. So I'm going to close the camera and let... Okay, I'm on normal speed. Okay. Here is Zelensky's address for today. Hope you enjoy. I'll be right back.
Шановні українці, сьогодні ми дякуємо нашим воїнам повітряних сил, їхній професійний день, героїчні люди. Сьогодні особисто їм подякував, відзначив нагородами, а також дуже важливі були доповіді щодо розвитку наших повітряних сил, усіх елементів. І це бойова авіація, це наші зенітні ракетні війська, це радіотехнічні війська. Всі елементи отримують належну силу. Тільки за цей рік наші повітряні сили отримали міражі, бойові машини з Франції, також додаткові F-16. Будуть ще. І сьогодні ми затвердили наступні етапи розвитку бойової авіації, нові платформи, нові кроки в інтеграції наших сил з військами партнерів. Наша мета – це повна, ефективна інтеграція повітряних сил України з силами НАТО, що точно дасть більше можливостей українському захисту та водночас зробить нашу державу ще більш міцною частиною захисту Європи. Комплексно працює система управління нашою бойовою авіацією, її розвитком в Збройних силах, в Генеральному штабі, в Міністерстві оборони України. Я хочу подякувати всім фахівцям. І сьогодні я призначив Анатолія Кривоножка командувачем повітряних сил. Він майже рік виконував обов'язки командувача і багато всього зроблено. Важливо, щоб і надалі всі працювали саме командою в державних структурах, і з партнерами, і з професійною спільнотою. Була сьогодні також доповідь секретаря РНБО, зокрема про підготовку нових засідань Ставки, серед питань стан протиповітряної оборони, нові системи, які зайдуть в Україну. Готуємось до опалювального сезону. Звісно, посилення ППО, антишахедні рішення, наше виробництво зброї – це один з елементів підготовки до зими. Також критична інфраструктура, її стан, необхідні рішення – все це теж питання на Ставку. Рустем Умєров доповів сьогодні ж про свою комунікацію з російською стороною. Готується обмін 1200 наших людей, які зараз в полоні. Ми маємо звільнити всіх наших військових, всіх наших цивільних. Як би не було складно. Керівник Офісу Андрій Єрмак доповів про комунікацію з нашими партнерами, зокрема з американцями. Сполучені Штати Америки налаштовані допомагати. Я хочу подякувати за це. Тиск на Росію дійсно може спрацювати саме так, щоб вони відчули наслідки затягування війни. І сьогодні провів також нараду щодо нашої санкційної політики. Підготовлені 3 санкційні пакети. І перший пакет вже сьогодні застосований. Санкції проти капітанів російського тіньового флоту. Будемо синхронізувати всі ці пакети з нашими партнерами і так, щоб тиск працював в більшості юрисдикцій. Погодив на наступний тиждень синхронізацію санкцій партнерів у нашій юрисдикції. Необхідні рішення партнерів мають бути підтверджені українськими санкціями. І ще одне. Я хочу подякувати нашим людям в Херсонській області, у Миколаєві, у наших містах та громадах на півдні, на Харківщині, на Сумщині, всюди, де постійні російські удари по звичайним будинкам, по енергетиці і фактично просто по життю людей. Завжди є робота по відновленню. Завжди наші роблять максимум, щоб врятувати людей. Дякую вам, дякую кожному, хто так працює заради нашої держави, заради наших людей. Дякую всім, хто з Україною. Слава Україні!
And of course, Героям слава. Yeah, we had a bit of a troll coming into chat saying they want to have sex with Zelensky. He is a handsome man. I am secure enough in my masculinity to say that. So, Belinda, that's what you want to do. All the power to you. He is a married man, though. Just saying. If Russians can deport native people from their republics to Siberia, then native peoples can deport Peters out of their territories when they free themselves from Russia. Yeah, that's a good. The funny thing is, let's go to Google Maps. Yeah, let's use this one. Zoom out here. This border you see right here. This is the Jewish territory of Russia. Russia basically moved all the Jews to the far, far east of Russia to get them to develop this area. This was Russia's solution to, well, anti-Semitism that was sweeping Europe in the early 1900s. Now, Russia is not innocent in what Germany was doing. Remember, Russia partnered and allied with Germany to invade Poland at the beginning of the war. The only reason Russia ended up on our side is because Germany decided to break that treaty and try and take all of Poland for itself. Russia was also attacking Ukraine. Germany started attacking Ukraine from the west, Russia from the east. So yeah, we had Ukrainians during World War II fighting with Germans against Russia. We also had Ukrainians fighting with the Russians against Germany. Being attacked under two sides. Ukraine was definitely another victim of World War II. Anton Bug BB. She keeps saying she's ready. She just needs some input from me, but then never contacts me back. So, I know she's extremely busy, but I'm not that well informed with Discord. It is what it is. So covered losses, covered Russia, covered Zelensky's speech. Apparently Belinda just said that and doesn't want to say any more. I didn't block you, Belinda. I just I can't allow such discussions of having relations with married people. Yeah, that's it. ICE has to meet their quota. Oh, I forgot to turn the cam back on. Let's get that back on. And I closed Deep State, didn't I, huh? Let's reopen Deep State. Head back to the air alert map, and we see explosions being reported in Dobropilya 9 minutes ago, unfortunately. Let's see. I could undelete the message, but it's not much. Yeah, it's just typical Russian propaganda that all these uninformed, uneducated people believe. I get that, Nura, but still, no, we don't use our enemies. We try to correct them. Anyways, coming back to the summer sunshine fun time. Let's get a refresh here. Again, we reached over the 4,000 mark with the Anonymous donation. So, yes, it is that time again. Let's go full cam. And so, yes, it is Beaver Sweet Hot Mustard time. Ukrainian soldiers are putting their lives on the line. The 5th Brigade of the National Guard Prime Unit is putting their lives on the line to take out drones and protect the border. I am just putting my stomach on the line for donations to help support them. So if you want to and are able to support them, let me get this, see if I can do this one-handed. Copy the link here. So there is a link to help support these guys right here. 5th Border Guard Detachment in Sumy, Prime Unit. Let's help them get them a van equipped with anti-Shaheed systems. And with that said, my mouth's on fire, Elvira. Okay, that was a mistake. Oh, I only did part of it, thinking it'd be better to do it in little bits. It's hotter this way. I didn't need those nose hairs. They're burning off. Oh. They got a hot mustard in Ukraine. I'm going to have to buy a jar of that to keep this going and do a taste comparison. Oh. No, I'd need to do it for the 5th Border Guards. No, tongue's not yellow. It's a little hot. That would be a good clickbait title, Vlad. I can breathe. Swish the whole spoonful around my mouth. No. Because it's fine when it's sitting on your tongue, but as soon as you swallow, that's when it gets hot. Oh, that would be really good with salo. Good idea, Nura. It's, don't get me wrong, that it's like it in small quantities. There we go. If I can get the glare off of it. There we go. In small quantities, it is great on hot dogs or bratwurst. But as a whole spoonful, oh gosh. It tastes a bit like hot honey mustard. Gotta clean the spoon. Yeah, in small quantities, like maybe like that much of what I just had. Yeah, but I could not get Coleman's here. I couldn't get this here. I had to order it in, and that's the first one I thought of. Ugh. Yeah, just killing taste buds before I go to Ukraine, so I go to Ukraine with, brand new, fresh taste buds. Oh, I'll have to check on my garlic. My garlic should be coming to seed here shortly. And the little seed heads of garlic, are so good. I'll have to check on that and maybe get a video to you tomorrow. Let's go back to the air alert map. Keep an eye on that as we go to Canty Center and give you a preview of the videos and stories to come as we scroll back to the beginning of the day. And got a bit to go through for today, obviously. And here we are for the drone report at 9 o'clock in the morning for today. 83 air targets launched. 76 of those were drones. 60 of those drones were shot down. 1 of 1 Iskander ballistic missile was shot down. 0 of 5 S-300, S-400 ballistic missiles. These are the anti-aircraft missile systems used at apartment buildings instead of aircraft. And 0 of 1 Kinzhal 22 cruise missiles were shot down. So no. Oh. Yeah. Would it be one of my streams? Oh, and I forgot to turn that off. Would it be one of my streams without that? Oh well, you guys missed the preview. Why would I swap the label to the mild one? I don't think they make a mild one. AVB? What are you referring to, Mitch? Alcohol volume basics? Okay, even though it's been a while and I've taken a few sips of Pepsi, like the roof of my mouth and like the middle of my tongue are still like tingling. Oh, okay. Anyways, 83 air targets, 76 drones, 60 shot down, 1 of 1 Iskander missile shot down, 0 of 5 S-300, S-400 anti-aircraft missiles shot down, or not shot down, I should say, and 1 Kinzhal 22 cruise missile launched and not shot down, unfortunately. In the meantime, Ukrainians attacked the oil terminal in Adir, Russia. These are the consequences of that strike. Pretty short one. I have some more context for that video later. It showed themselves filming it. There's some more to that later. A unit of the 24th Separate Mechanized Brigade precisely destroys enemy targets using Grim 8 FPV drones. Here's their video. Oh, that's loud. I wouldn't say no tanks, but Russia is trying really hard to keep armor on the field. Maybe I should auction this salt off. That'd be an interesting auction. That is salt from Bakhmut, now under Russian occupation. Yeah, definitely limited availability of those. Meanwhile, Estonia installs fences on the border with Russia. Massive metal gates have been installed on the Friendship Bridge from Ivanograd to Narvia on the Estonian side. These gates will become part of a system of roadblocks that will allow for quick closure of the road when it becomes necessary. These are the gates being installed. And if you think Europe is unconcerned with Russia, think again. That river is the border between Estonia and Russia. Unfortunately, very cool castle in the background here is on the Russian side. I love to visit such castles. I have a fascination with medieval history, and castles is part of that. Unfortunately, that one's in Russia, so I'll never be able to get to go visit that one. Five rail cars carrying ship fuel derailed in Russia on August 2nd, en route to Vanino port. 2 tankers overturned, 1 million rubles in damage, so about $10. There's no need to have a real estate license in Ukraine. It's not that regulated, so I can do it as soon as I get there without getting licensing. I know a lot of what needs to be done. I just need to learn Ukrainian better to be able to do it, because like the registration site is not available in English. So yeah, I need like someone to translate Ukrainian until I learn it better for me. But the reason I wanted to show you guys this is, well, you basically see that the wood for the railroad ties basically disintegrated. This is basically Soviet infrastructure collapsing on Russia itself. No, definitely not opening an office in China. You want to talk about racism? China is probably one of the worst countries for racism against non-Chinese people. You know, I know a guy that's lived there for 30 years, has his Chinese citizenship, married a Chinese woman, has children in China. And like they cannot go on trips and visit in China unless there's a hotel for foreigners in China, because he's not allowed to stay at a regular Chinese hotel. It has to be a hotel licensed to take foreigners. It's a weird setup in China. But even like he's shown me videos where his mother-in-law is sitting there praising his child, her grandchild, as, oh, you're not a foreigner like your dad. You're my native Chinese baby. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. I have considered like buying properties, fixing them up to a European style, putting bathrooms in them, and so on and so forth, and doing it that way. Mm, they're not very strategic. They haven't been used in a while. So let's look at Solid. Let's go images. And yeah, these are the Solidar salt mines around Bakhmut. And for the last 10, 15 years or so, it's actually been turned into a health spa and a museum of the salt industry with like carvings. Here, let's go Google Maps because it is better. They have Dnipro, Donetsk, Pokrovsk, Bakhmut, Soledar. Up here. So yeah, it was basically a museum and health spa. So they made sculptures in the salt mines, displays, more sculptures.
Почему елку ставим, да? Потому что у нас боевые действия идут, и эти проезжают, и первомаечки золотого приезжают, люди, которые прокачаны. И забил, как даже попал в эфир, даже не скажу, я их заезжаю на
let's see. Oh yeah, the sculptures. I'm looking for the Hell Spa pictures. It's basically like a bunch of lounge chairs down in the salt mines. You can like rent a room in the salt mines and sleep in the salted air. And it's supposed to be really healthy for you. A little small theater to watch movies or dinner. You know, the salt shop. But yeah, it's basically a health spa tourist trap. With, full dinners, restaurants, so on and so forth. So it's not an operational mine. It hasn't been for quite some time. Again, I'm looking for the health spa pictures because it's just like lounge chairs in the salt mine and you just sit there and breathe in the salt air. And it's supposed to help with like lung problems and such. And so strategically, yeah, the mines mean little. Uh, yeah, concerts. Oh yeah, it's why blow up something that has no value as a mineral source and is basically a health spa. Plus, you look at the volume of these dugout areas. If you collapsed this, how much would that affect the surface, the civilians, the ecology of the area? And it's really hard to have the reference of how big that actually is until you see it like this with a 20-meter Christmas tree. The salt I have here, this is a novelty item. It's not, salt you'd use. It's something to sit on your counter and be a talking piece. There you go. Play pool in the salt mines. Check out the art, the carvings. Breathe in the salt air and dry up your lungs. Little pyramid. There you go. There's the salt from Soledar. There you go, LJ. Let's go play some checkers in Soledar. Yeah, Ukrainians used it as a health spa. Not as a mine, but as a health spa. And the little bit of salt that you could purchase from Soledar was like the removal from doing carvings or redoing walls. Do a carving like this, well, all that extra salt from carving this out, that's what they'd sell in, these boxes. Even had church service in the salt mines. again, no real strategic value to it other than a place to breathe in some salt air. Okay, yeah, you could store weapons in these tunnels and keep them from being bombed. You'd still have to bring them to the surface. And, well, Ukraine knows where the entrances are. So they're not getting anything in and out of there without Ukrainians knowing. So yeah, it gives Russians a place to hide, but it also is a place to trap them. So that's kind of why Ukrainians did not blow up the salt mines in Soledar. Again, Soledar right there, Bakhmut right here. Yeah, I think Ukraine would be a great place to set up like an American style burger joint and, you know, fight against McDonald's in Ukraine. Because besides McDonald's, like the hamburger scene in Kiev was everybody trying to do like gourmet specialty burgers. Burgers with what do you call it? The truffles on it, and yeah, it was all fancy, super, No, if I was gonna open a burger shop in Kiev, it would be a greasy spoon, hole in the wall. Come in, order your burger. Here you go. Maybe 100 hryvnia for a burger. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. They exist. Anybody who is smart doesn't farm in America anymore. I hate to say it that way, considering I wanted to be a farmer myself. But, I've sat down and done the math on it. To get into farming, you need $1 million to $1.5 million in equipment. And like the average price for an acre of land right now is $5,500 in the US. And that maybe makes you between $100 and $200 a year on that acre of land. So you're talking 30 years just to pay the land. And then you have to pay your equipment costs on top of that of another $1.5 million. You can't do it as an independent farmer anymore unless you inherit the land. And then, to be honest, you're better off selling the land and retiring. Vlad, I'm sure you could lick the walls in the Soledar salt mines, but would you want to? Because, like, everything people exhale sticks to those walls. All the CO2, all the carbon. sticks to those walls. The candles that are lit, the carbon that comes off the candles sticks to those walls. I wouldn't lick the walls. Willy Wonka Saltland? Yeah. Yes, the Ukrainians used it. Now, see, the one burger that I thought would be like amazing in Ukraine would be like a mushroom patty melt, but nobody had the patty melt there with mushrooms. Uh, uh, you know, that exists. You can actually feed a family of 4 on 1 acre. If you have 1 acre of land, you can feed a family of 4 year round without any food inputs from outside. Yeah, but I could see that, Mitch, but uh so apparently salt makes Putin hungry. Okay, good to know. Personally, I find the best foods in the world have 4 or less ingredients. Pasta, salt, water, flour, maybe water, if you count that. Yeah, you start adding more complexity to the dish, the more things that can go wrong with it. Doesn't mean it's always great. But the easiest, most tasty dishes are usually 4 ingredients or less. What are you guys talking about, Mitch and Mexi? I missed that part, but I see you're talking about seeing people in other chats. Yeah, I like sliders too, but yeah. No, land is pretty expensive right now around me, because of the high cost of corn right now. Land's going for about 7,000 an acre around me. Oh, P3, okay. Yeah, I've seen him in other chats throughout the week, but not here. Not today anyways. He might be sleeping because it is Sunday and it is fairly late for him. Yeah, burger shop that just does like normal American burgers, cheeseburger, hamburger, pickles, ketchup, mustard, done. Um, oh, like you go to the burger farm in Kiev and you get creations like this, or brisket burger or a chicken burger or something like that. You know, everybody's trying to do the high-end, fancy, you know, I think that's supposed to be a sloppy Joe. Um, but they also do have like a regular burger, but it's kind of weird. Let's see, menu. Part of that is because like the Mexico burger is $3. The basic burger $2. Fries are $1. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to. There you go. Barbecue burger is the most expensive one for $5. If you could look on the side, these are like the drink prices. Coca-Cola is the most expensive drink for 85 hryvnia, $2. Um, so $20, and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 burgers with 3 orders of fries. $20 will get you a burger, fries, and drinks in the States right now. Yeah, avocado burger with an egg. It's all, trying to be super high-end burgers, and it just gets too complicated, too busy. 4 ingredients or less, in my personal opinion. There's one for you. Um, I believe that's pork, like their version of a pulled pork sandwich, except the fried pork bits instead of pulled pork. Now, how many of you are hungry now? Don't get me wrong, these look good, they taste amazing. But, a simple peasant dish is what a burger should be, in my opinion. I'm not even sure what kind of sauce that is, but it's not ketchup, it's not mayo. Brisket burger. But I did love the atmosphere of this place. It reminded me of like the little hole in the wall mom and pop shops in Seattle. It was good burgers, but it was something fancy, not something you'd make at home. Yeah, I could believe it costing Coke costing more than wine and beer. That is actually true in Ukraine. You can get a bottle of locally brewed Ukrainian beer for 50 hryvnia, and a Coca-Cola will, even a bottle like this costs you almost $2. And it's kind of weird. I drink the sugar-free Pepsis and Cokes, and the flavors are switched. This Pepsi tastes like, Zero or Coke Zero in Ukraine. The Coke Zero in Ukraine tastes like Pepsi, and the Pepsi Zero tastes like Coke. It's odd. But yeah, I think that'd be a interesting business to open in Kyiv. An American style, simple burger shop that's not McDonald's. The question is going to be how much you can take away from McDonald's, because it's a treat to go to McDonald's for Ukrainians. It's not like an everyday stop like it is here. It's, oh, the family's getting together, let's go to McDonald's and have a day of it. Anyways, getting back to Air Alert map. Chernihiv, Kyiv, Cherkasky off Air Alert, Zaporizhia on, Donetsk and Sumy still on. And play you the video from Mirnograd next to Pokrovsk. This is Mirnograd today. Spreading the Ruski Mir, the Russian world, the Russian peace to Mirnograd. This is Mykolaiv, down here. 7 people were injured in the Russian missile strike in Mykolaiv. 3 houses were destroyed. Fires broke out. Another 23 private houses, 12 apartment buildings, 6 cars, a post office, and a building materials store was damaged. Yesterday in Sumy region, Russians killed a 12-year-old boy with a drone, and another child, a 13-year-old boy, was injured. This is the images from Mykolaiv this morning, and here is the aftermath of that strike. Yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as a cheap burger in the States anymore. Um, the sad part with McDonald's is they don't have any more markets to expand into. They're pretty much worldwide. They have no new ways to grow the business. So all they can do is increase prices and, unfortunately, decrease quality. Yeah, even making your own burgers here in the States isn't cheap anymore. Because even you go low end with like 73, 23, or 27% fat, you're looking at about $4.50 to $5 a pound for the beef. And you're still looking at, a buck and a half just for the burger, probably another buck for the bun, condiments, onion, dressing, what have you on it. And you're still looking at like even a homemade burger's costing you $4 or $5. Yeah, any country outside of the United States, McDonald's is better than inside. Repelling a Russian motorized assault in the Service direction by the Incognito group. So, in this entire assault, there is one armored vehicle. Motorcycles. I should say dirt bikes. Detonation of a Russian Zhiguli, on which the enemy was transporting provisions to their positions. This is the result of an FPV strike. Oh, Jiggly no more. Oh, I need to adjust this back up. There we go. Sochki, Russia, where another oil storage facility was hit. And this story gets more interesting later. Come back to that in a minute. Voronezh, as a result of electronic warfare, a UAV went off course and crashed into a power line support. Here's that. The UAE is distancing itself from Russia. Banks are cleaning up their client base. This year in July, UAE financial institutions tightened control over the activities of Russian companies. About 30% of the enterprises from Russia received notices of restrictions on financial transactions and closure of banks accounts. So the UAE finally coming into line with some of the sanctions. Operators of the Gotthard Brigade in the Voschansk area destroy an enemy MT-12 Rapira, an 82mm mortar, a vehicle with personnel and ammunition, and 2 launch points of enemy UAVs. Here is that video from Gotthard Brigade. Ooh. Nura, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't want to think about the hospital bill for that kind of stuff. Ugh. Oh. A Russian soldier in an anti-thermal coat, proving that the Russians are worms. Ugh. Were they Russian? Yeah, so am I, Nura. But no, I was referring to Nura when you said Shoshki, not Shoshki. Oh, they were mega. Yeah, it's amazing what humans can get survive. Both mentally and physically. That's sorry, I have to change the subject because my mind's going back to my car accident and flashing to that, and yeah, I don't want to relive that right now. Yeah. Anyways, minus a Russian 152mm Heathkant B in the Kupiansk area. Soshi, not Shoshki. Okay, Soshi. Whatever, it's Russian. I don't care if I say it right. Drone failed to detonate upon contact with the occupier and ricocheted. This is talking about one segment of this video. The Russian decided to take the drone with the explosive and carefully put it away. Well, you'll see for yourself in this video from K2. So there's the part they're talking about. Picks up the drone, sets it like a few more inches away, and boom. Well, interesting video coming from K2. I missed their old videos where they tied the drone videos with the sound from the tank assault. That video made K2 famous, and they've tried to replicate it before, but haven't been able to, and have since gone to clips just like this. Footage from the police shows the immediate aftermath of the Russian Kinzhal 22 missile strike in Mykolaiv. Here is body cam footage from Ukrainian police responding to that.
Тут є хто? Тихенько, тихенько. Зараз я витягну цей камінь. Давай. Давай під стінку. Давайте вилазьте, вилазьте. Давай ще. Тому що там запідрена артерія, іменно там іде, то він затягує. Все нормально.
No, I haven't seen that one yet. Mexico, I'll have to check it out. Russians are targeting this bridge, have been targeting it for 3 days in Kherson. It's finally in a critical position, and Ukrainians have been evacuating civilians out of the area. I wanted to go to not this, but Google Maps, come down to Kherson and tell you and show you why that bridge is so important. This little island here is fairly well populated. A lot of businesses, a lot of housing, and this is the only bridge on and off the island. This is the bridge that Russians have been targeting for 3 days, and will probably target it again tomorrow. Today in Ukraine, 7 o'clock in the morning in Ukraine at the moment. So they'll probably target that again, but mostly an industrial area, some housing there, and more housing up this way. Ukraine has been trying to evacuate the civilians out of this area. If Russians do destroy that bridge, the only way on and off the island would be people having to walk across this railroad bridge, or try and take a boat across. Not very safe maneuver with all the drones and such in this area. But yeah, that's Russia trying to cut off this little part of Kherson, possibly to be able to send assaults into here to hide in the buildings to get a foothold towards Kherson itself. Just Sumi under air alert at the moment, and heading back to probably one of the more interesting stories for today. Well, I shouldn't say interesting, but funny. Disgusting in a way. But yeah, this is Russians standing outside the Shoshi, whatever. The Russian oil fields that were hit, filming a video for TikTok. And I don't get why the Russians are so into these stupid lip injections to give them, a duck face. Quack, quack. But anyways. Well, this came across the Russian news information that these girls were being looked for crimes against Russia for filming that video. And they were later arrested, turned themselves in, and had to post a video of them promising never to do such a thing again to show off Ukrainian strikes on Russian territory. Trump bashing derangement syndrome. He's the most deranged person I know. Made up shit, but yeah. 47th Brigade captured a bunch of Russian videos from downed drones that they took out with electronic warfare. Here is a compilation of these Russian drones getting knocked out. Okay. Again, these are all videos from Russian drones crashing because of electronic warfare from the 47th. And that's what we are trying to hook up the 5th Border Guards with the Prime Unit guys with a van to do the same thing. So hopefully in the future we can get videos from Prime Unit. We are getting further along every day thanks to donors like Adam Rounds and the Anana Moose is out there. Did I hit the right one? I don't think I hit the right one. There we go. The Anana Mooses. And others like Emu Squad, Daddy Jim, Michelle, Daughter Pat, Mexi Girl, of course, Adam Rounds again and again, Nikki Hill, David N., Steve Sane, Linda H., Linda, Blonde Bombsheller. So many donations, and it seems the same people donating repeatedly. It doesn't take much. If you got $5 or €5 and you can spare it, please send $5. It's all it takes. You can do a custom amount right there. Whatever you can spare, it all helps. Many twigs makes a strong bundle. Let's be those many twigs. No, I don't want to imagine that, Adam Rounds. You know they exist. Yeah, it was more than politics. That is the odds everywhere we go. Serenity out in public is truly an illusion. But I enjoy peace of mind, and I need to be more cautious. Yeah. Well, I'll show you my security while I'm here in the U.S. That's next to me in my room. I have one in my truck. Basically, yeah, too many crazies here in the States. And unfortunately, it's become a necessity. If you go anywhere within a large population, especially necessary for me living out on a farm, because I've had cougars, bobcats, well, mountain lions, I should say, not cougars, but bobcats, possums attacking my chickens, possum attacking my mom. Mexi, I prefer 9mm. 45 has a lot of kick and a lot of stopping power, but I just like the 9. It's, and the ammo's easy to find and is cheap. That was a Glock. In my truck is a SIG, and well, I prefer the SIG over the Glock, but neither here nor there. Yes, I did not take it out of the case for a reason. Yeah, that not that kind of cougar. The there was a cougar that had, or no, dang it, there was a mountain lion that had a litter in the barn out behind my house, behind my property. And yeah, it was, I didn't shoot it, but I had to shoot around it to scare it off. Because shooting the mountain lion without a hunting license for the mountain lion would have landed me in jail. So I had to call the game warden, get the game warden to come out to, well, they captured the mountain lion and the cubs and took her out west to, well, the actual mountains in South Dakota. Technically, yes, I did feed her, Mitch. I lost 8 chickens to her. So, yeah, technically, I did feed her. Probably not the kind of feeding you thought, but yeah. Here we go. For the 3rd day in a row, the Russians are trying to destroy the Ostrisky Bridge in Kherson. About 1,800 civilians remain on the island, which the bridge leads to, and the authorities are evacuating those who have agreed to leave. Here's the video of the Russian strike on the bridge. Yeah, no bears, thankfully, around my parts. I do have shotgun. I do have an automatic rifle. I just won't say what kind. I'm prepared. At one time, I would have called myself a prepper, but there's way too many people calling themselves preppers out there that are crazies. Not just that, but a lot of the prepper community has turned into, how can I make money off of other people wanting to prep? Oh, here, buy my gardening tip book. Here, buy this from me. And it's turned into a money-making scheme rather than, teaching people how to prep. There are always exceptions to generalizations like the one I just made. But yeah, a lot of people I followed back when I started doing prep stuff turned into, hey, I can make money off this now. Come pay me $200 for a class on how to raise soldier fly larvae for your chickens. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's possible. They rushed to report GUR Special Forces eliminated the invaders who took pictures in the village of Zeleny Gay. This is the Russians, July 26th. This is Ukrainian Special Forces on July 27th. And here's the video from the Special Forces.
Слава Україні! Героям слава!
Conceal carry permit, Adam. Definitely recommend if you're going to be in areas like that. And I understand it was a long time ago, but Nura, I wouldn't know. I don't watch them on YouTube anymore. Um, if anything, doing videos about your preps is probably the worst thing you can do. It's literally advertising here. Come if the shit hits the fan, or as I like to say, if the fit hits the shan, all it does is advertise to millions of people. Hey, these people have resources. Let's go raid them. Oh no, 5-time pitchfork? The 3-time. The 3-time hay fork. Yeah, I used to watch like a lot of the prepper videos. It's just it's one of the reasons I do the rain catch I do. Um, I need to add more storage because like a quarter inch of rain in my tank will go from empty to almost full. Yeah, if I was showing you like the preps I do and where I hide certain things and where you know a great place to hide your stash, it's not hard to figure out where I'm at. Hey, I know where his stash is. Let's go grab his stash so he doesn't have it and I do. Yeah. Uh yeah, the one reason I set up the rain catch that I have is so that I have it sorted already. So if a law changes, I'm grandfathered in and I don't have to worry about it. I can add or subtract from my system later. But a few years ago, Colorado made it illegal to catch rainwater if you were not catching rainwater already, because you were infringing on the water rights of those who were down the watershed from you. So yeah, if you're in Colorado, um, and you don't have a range catch system that's already documented, you cannot collect rainwater. You can go to jail for having a bucket upturned in your yard to catch rainwater. Yeah. Um, yeah, Colorado was the first one. Um, I forgot some of the others, but yeah, when I saw that happening, I hastily put a rain catch system on my place just in case they did it here. Um, it gets really touchy with stuff like that on YouTube, so I won't quote what they exist as saying. But if a situation like that arises, uh, keep pulling. Don't stop until it doesn't work anymore. If I say more, it will get deleted by YouTube. But yeah. Anyways, it Ukrainian soldier destroys a dugout with Russian soldiers in it in the Donetsk region with a close-range grenade launcher shot. Oh, and Mexi, yes, I did see that video. I did not realize that was generals in that video. So there's the dugout. There's the Ukrainian soldier. Russians in that dugout. And that's not a grenade launcher. Hate to tell you, that's not a grenade launcher. Meanwhile, in Belarus, some new APVs were spotted with a new identification mark. So, if it was just the new markings, the new red mark, it would be one thing. But having the cope cage and the new markings in Belarus has me a bit concerned that Russia might be trying to do, let's go, this attack again. Unfortunately, that's going to have to be a wait and see what happens, unfortunately. I think should have built a recharge pond. This offsets the rain capture for personal use. Recharge ponds are easily built and boost well capacity locally. Yeah. I do have an old well on my property. I've been slowly refurbishing it. I have all the old draw pipe pulled out, and I'm going to have to put new draw pipe in there. And that's not going to be cheap. Unfortunately, it's old enough that they use galvanized pipe for the well, and yeah, there's rust in the well. So I'm gonna have to line it, put new pipe in, and possibly even flush the pipe. And unfortunately, the well is 368 feet deep. So, yeah. Sochi. This is flying into Sochi with the oil tanks in the background. And that's where the girls were filming their video that they had to apologize and promise never to do it again. French. Oh, Texelis and Ukrainian military industrial complex will jointly produce MRAP armored vehicles in the coming future. So, a new product that is Ukrainian made. And I just thought this was interesting. But yesterday, August 2nd, Russian news agencies reported that HIV cases in the Russian army have jumped up 2,000% since the war began. Yeah, I saw Pablo changed his the pump in his well. Yeah, it's a much different well. He's doing surface water. I think his is maybe 15 meters deep. And the video that Mexigirl was talking about, the Russians were unlucky. So I'm guessing that's the general then. And I wish the video was a little bit clearer because, like, the expression on their faces, I can only imagine, unfortunately. One more time. So yeah, I did not realize that that was generals, but yeah, I seen that video. Now you have too. And now we know that that was a Russian general. I'm guessing it was let me reiterate. I'm guessing that this guy right here was the Russian general. Murasima unit burned a Russian Ural.
Он все равно работает, блядь.
That or oh, suka. Oh, pause it just like a frame too late. See, can we tell what was in there? No. It just supplies from the looks of it. In Crimea, there is a funny atmosphere.
Да вообще барон тоже.
So that is anti-aircraft shooting at Ukrainian drones. And apparently a floor in their apartment. Come on, show the anti-aircraft again. Nope, just that first part. I would have clipped this out. No, that is Crimea. And my last video I had set aside for today, a Russian Marine showing off their way to get to the front.
Машина задания. Так передвигается морская пехота. Француз, как тебе? Дела хоть? Все сказано. Че, далеко еще до точки?
Yeah, number 2 Army. Riding the handlebars of a bicycle. And that's how they get to their positions. Number 2 Army. Yep. Yeah, I took a number 2 a little bit ago. That's the number 2 Army they mean. Before we call it a night, let me head over to Vona Ukraina. Show you some of the videos the armed forces have been putting out there for us. And
Всім привіт, дякувати Богу. Наступило 31 липня. Дякувати хлопцям на передніх рубежах железними їдлами. Робота наша продовжується. На жаль, околиці міста нескорених і незломлених, зони нашої відповідальності дуже побите, зруйноване. Але дякувати Богу, ми стримуємо і стараємося стримувати цю трьохкольорову мразь. До речі, 5 ранку, який гарний схід сонця в вільній і незалежній Україні. Віримо в ЗСУ. Гарного дня і тихого вечора.
I don't know why I like the guy. So apparently this is Captain Jack Sparrow. I know I'm getting a copyright hit for that song, but oh well. And one of my favorites, helicopters. Du hast mich. Interesting helmet and suit. If I stick my thumb out, will you give me a ride? Please? Please, I want one. One of the few things I have not done is ride in a helicopter. Loss report coming out for this morning. And a couple posts from operational ZCU. At night, UAV debris struck the Arcadia railway station in Volgograd. The strike hit a building with relay cabinets, causing a potential power outage on the railway section. Trains are delayed in Russia. Yeah, it was leopard print M35. Again, the loss report in different format. And Trump stated that his special envoy Witkoff may arrive in Russia on Wednesday or Thursday. According to him, the Russians want to meet. It is worth noting that Trump's deadline after which he will promise sanctions if there is a negative response is August 8th. During his meeting with journalists, Trump confirmed that if the Russians refuse the ceasefire proposal, he will impose sanctions, although he believes they are good at circumventing them, calling the Russians cunning characters. I would have said cunning linguists, if you get my meaning. That is all I have for the videos today. Um, do a little bit of overtime here. Pokrovsk today. It's August 3rd going on August 4th. Let's go last year. This is Pokrovsk last year. And so they've come up to here. Kind of like that. And kind of like that. Oh, they're actually more over this way, but oh well. Yeah, that's as far as Russia has been able to get in the last year. Let me scoot this back down. 1,056,130 casualties as of yesterday morning. Make that 1,050 or 1,057,140 to date. We go back. I'm going to borrow from a gamer friend of mine. He has a channel where he posts a bunch of these. And let's just scroll back. Yeah, I was going to do this as like a separate video to show you, what the Russian advances really have looked like and really have cost. But do it as a little side thing here. We're in October, September, August 30th. We're almost there. 18th, 11th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, and here's August 4th last year. 582,910. A year later, and we're talking almost 500,000 Russians killed or wounded for what? What is this distance? From, let's say, here to Shevchenko. 35 kilometers. 500,000, a year of fighting to go 35 kilometers. And let me just close this and reopen Google Maps. So let's start with Mitchell. So 35 kilometers is basically the distance between Mitchell and Parkston near me. 22.28 miles. That's what Russia has paid, has taken a year and has paid with almost 500,000 lives. 22 miles, 35 kilometers. Put this into perspective for others. Let's go from clear measurement, downtown pin, Seattle, 35 kilometers. So downtown Seattle to Tacoma. For my LA people, see, 35 kilometers doesn't even get you from the center of Los Angeles to Santa Clara. Can you imagine spending 500,000 lives to move from Los Angeles to Santa Clara? Air raids are all clear at the moment. It is 7:41 a.m., almost midnight for me. LA is a desert. Is when, I forgot who it was, but there was a major news station or news company that did this report like 2 or 3 months ago, and it was 96 Russian casualties per square kilometer. 96 per square kilometer. I wonder if I could just do this, what a square kilometer looks like. Apparently, I'm not the only one that does that. Images. Over Denver. Okay, so a square kilometer is 1 million square meters. Okay. Divide that by 4. So a square kilometer is 250 acres, roughly. So obviously less than a square mile. Let's go back. And I'll show you Phoenix, because Phoenix is laid out where I used to live in Phoenix. is laid out in a square grid. This is, this is a square mile right here. That is 360 acres. Drop off 110 acres. So basically, not even one of these. Not even. So let me zoom in even more. Eliminate this part of this area, and that's roughly what 100 Russians died for. So, what, a Russian for a football field? Yeah, there's like the thing is, like, you see all this green in here. This all used to be desert. This is all irrigated farmland. There's a lake that used to be here. That lake is no longer there. Lake Tahoe, saddling the border between Arizona and California. Dam built here. That is what feeds all this irrigated land, essentially, at this point. Yeah. Now that little lake feeding all this farmland. The other thing that opened my eyes with the wanting to catch rainwater is, if you haven't seen the movie The Big Short, story about the housing bubble in 2008. Anyways, this guy here, the guy that portrayed this guy here, and he predicted it a year and a half before everybody else, and created basically an insurance policy against the housing market going bust. First one to do it, made a ton of money off of it, made his investors a ton of money off of it, and after cashing out, now only invests in water rights. Makes you wonder. I forgot what his name was. I wish I could remember. Oh, Mark Baum. Maybe. Yeah. Everybody lost their homes, and these guys made fortunes. Banking industry made billions of dollars off of deceiving Americans. It is what it is. But yeah, one of the major investors that saw the bubble coming and made money off of it now only invests in water rights. Makes you wonder. That makes me curious. Hold on a second. How many states have made, let's go rain. No state has entirely outlawed rainwater collection according to the AI. Colorado, Utah, Nevada are known for having the most heavily regulated rainwater harvesting laws. Arkansas, Illinois, California also have notable restrictions. Other states may have permits or specific limitations on the amount collected or how it can be used. Washington State, Georgia, yeah, so definitely starting in the West where water is more of a rare resource. So yeah, if you're in those states, watch out about rainwater harvesting. You could get fined or go to jail for putting a rain barrel on your downspout. Washington and Georgia encourage rainwater harvesting. The majority of states currently have no restrictions on rainwater collection for personal use. But yeah, Colorado, you're severely restricted. Utah, severely restricted. Nevada, severely restricted. Arkansas, Illinois, and California, you have to get permits. So, yeah, even if you don't use it, put a system out there. Have it in place just in case you need to do it in the future. Because if you have it there, you're grandfathered in, they can't say anything to you. Yeah. With that, I am going to say good night. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for supporting Ukraine. Please remember to donate if you have the funds available. Every dollar, every euro helps. Even if it's just €5, $5, whatever. It all adds up. 2,473 donations. So an average of under $10 a donation. Or under 100 euros. Yeah, 100 euros a donation. I don't care if it's $5, $10. Send what you can. Have a good one. Stay safe, everybody. And I will see you next time.